So no Philadelphia Eagles since Reggie White in 1987 has won the Defensive Player of the Year award, but reports are saying that this one young stud might be able to end that drought. Darius Slay seems to be doing a little bit of recruitment maybe, and could the Eagles be already back in the trade market before week 1? Let's talk about it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
One position all offseason Eagles fans were asking to improve was the wide receiver 3 position. Now, we did add some young guys. We got Anaya Smith. We got some older guys. And we got some middle of the road guys who didn't. We got a bunch of guys, right? So is that enough? Or do the Eagles maybe want to take a huge swing at the market and go get a veteran out there that may be a little disgruntled or want to get some more money or just be on a good team until he gets that last contract? The guy I'm talking about is Amari Cooper. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I want him on the team. I'm not going to, go crazy for him, but if it happens, that would be insane. Now, Darius Slay was on the Green Light podcast with Chris Long, and this is what he had to say. I really be thinking he's the most underappreciated receiver in the league, Slay said on the Green Light with Chris Long podcast. I'm seeing right now that the Cleveland Browns don't want to pay him. They need to pay that man that money. Now, could the Eagles actually swing a trade for Amari Cooper? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. We got Howie Roseman, so you never really know. But the money is not in our favor, $23 million cap hit. And like I said, this is his last year on his deal. But he's had 7 seasons where he's went over 1,000 yards, last year being the latest. So he's still got it. He's still a really good wide receiver. And maybe, like I said, he wants to go to a team and just compete for a ring. If you're all the way in, why not go all the way in, right? And it's just 1 year. You don't have to re-sign him, but it could be a lethal weapon to have there out as a wide receiver 3. But at the end of the day, the Browns will want something back. So what are you actually willing to give up for an Amari Cooper plus pay him the $23 million? We've seen trades where the other team has ate some of the money. So maybe Amari Cooper, we say, hey, we'll give you a second or something like that. And they say, all right, for a second, we'll eat some of his money, and you move on from there. Let's not forget that Amari Cooper was taken for a steal from the Cowboys. Shout out to the Cowboys for giving him up for, I believe, a 5th round pick. Maybe you could get him for something around that. Who knows? But the money is probably the biggest hurdle to leap. But if Slay wants him, maybe he could get him here on the low, and it'll be fun to watch. Now, like I said, they are going to want something back, so it kind of makes me think about what we're going to talk about. We got something they might need, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and comment below if you would like to see Amari Cooper in Philadelphia. Now, if you've been an Eagles fan long enough, you've probably seen a bunch of great defenses out there, a bunch of great defensive players out there. But, we've had guys like Fletcher Cox, we've had guys like Brian Dawkins, we've had guys like Lito Shepherd. I could keep going on, and leave some guys in the comments who I'm forgetting. But one thing we haven't had since 1987 is a Reggie White and a Defensive Player of the Year. All those great names, just not a Defensive Player of the Year. Well, one reporter thinks that could change this year and says that he has the talent to be a Defensive Player of the Year, and that's Jalen Carter. So we're going to read what Johnny Page wrote. Johnny brought up the history of Vic Fangio and how he likes to run his defense and how he likes to utilize his star pass rushers, saying, additionally, Vic Fangio historically likes to play his pass rushing stars a lot. So I expect he will want Carter to play a lot of snaps this year. Christian Wilkins played 894 snaps last year. When asked about Jalen Carter, Vic Fangio stated this: per ESPN, he's got to get in shape, and I think he's off to a great start here, so we can play him a lot. Last year, just to go over some numbers and dive a little bit deeper, he was 43rd in total snaps, 26th in pass rush snaps, and 84th in run defense snaps. So he could definitely stand for a couple more snaps. It would be interesting to see what he would be able to do off that. He had 6 sacks last year, had 11 tackles for loss. So even in the small sample size that we were able to see with Jalen Carter, we saw a guy that could be a star. So I think that there is definitely a possibility that he can be on the map, be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year with increased snaps. Now, with increased snaps, you got to be more healthy. You got to be, available. Availability is the best ability. But you see guys like Jordan Davis losing weight. You see other guys in the best shape of their life on the offense, defense. So I think that it's a culture at this point. And I do see, look, I think Jalen Carter could do it. I think Jalen Carter could do it. I think Jordan Davis is going to have a great year as as well. And I think that they're going to be able to feed off of each other. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Jalen Carter has what it takes to be a defensive player of the year and maybe end that drought for the Eagles? Lastly, after adding Saquon Barkley and 2 rookies in Kendall Milton and Will Shipley, there's kind of a little bit of a log jam, you know, at the running back position. Too many chefs in the kitchen, you could say. So there is a question about what Kenny G is going to be doing this year, if anything, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we did talk about the Browns and possibly if we wanted to make a move for one of their guys. They do not know what's going on with Nick Chubb. I think that's important to kind of put out there. Now, the hope is that he'll be able to be back by week 2, week 3. But if there's a setback, knock on wood, obviously not hoping for it, but if there's a setback or if they're a little bit nervous about that timeline, maybe Kenneth Gainwell makes sense for them. I mean, we did show that he can be a number 2 guy at worst. He's not the worst in the world. I mean, I know I'm probably going to get some pushback on that, but don't put it in the comments, because if other guys see this, we're trying to sell this guy, right? But at the end of the day, he might make a lot of sense, Kenneth Gainwell, to go to the Browns or another team looking for a number 1 running back, maybe for a little bit, maybe a bridge running back, maybe a number 2. He still has some value, in my opinion. Obviously, being a 5th round pick, we didn't put too much into him. We gave him a lot of opportunities. People can look back at that playoff game against the Giants and maybe they say, all right, maybe this kid got something. So we gave him opportunities. He's showed up sometimes and sometimes he hasn't. So there is some talk about the Eagles possibly moving on from him even as early as week 1. So this is what Chris Knox of the Bleacher Report wrote. If the Eagles don't see Gainwell having a long-term future with the franchise, they could look into cash in by trading him to a running back needy team before week 1. The 2021 5th round pick has shown glimpses as a part-time player, especially last season. Despite logging only 114 touches, Gainwell tallied 547 scrimmage yards while averaging 4.3 yards per carry and catching 30 passes. For another team, he could potentially push for the starting role. See, I told you. I told you that he, you know, he did a little, it didn't feel like it. I'm going to be honest with you. When I read that quote, I was a little bit surprised that those were his numbers. It didn't feel like he was doing anything. Felt like we were, anyways, I said not to talk junk. But Kenneth Gainwell could be a surprise guy that the Eagles move on from, whether it be a trade, whatever it may be. I don't know if they would outright cut him. I don't know if I would outright cut him, even though we have, you know, me talking this junk. I think that he's still a good player. Always good to have depth. What do you guys think would happen with Kenneth Gainwell? Do you want to see him come back? Do you want to see him be the guy that backs up Saquon Barkley? I think it would be fun to watch what Will Shipley can do. I think Kendall Milton's a really good player, so I'm good with either of the decisions, to be honest with you. So that's it for today. I just wanted to go over what I saw. You guys let me know how you guys are feeling. I'm excited about this season. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, so be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe so you don't miss a video. We're going to be throwing out a bunch of flavor at you, you know what I'm saying? And I might get the chalkboard back. I don't know why I'm having vibes of getting the chalkboard back. You guys let me know if I should. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and this has been Philly the podcast. And we out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly